can't believe I'm making this video, but Brentford are in a very precarious position. Thomas Frank, gone to Tottenham. Brian Mbeumo, gone to Man United. Norgard, Arsenal. Wissa looks like he's about to go to Newcastle United. It's going to leave them with a lot of money, but a lot of holes to fill, and it would not surprise me if Brentford found themselves in the relegation battle this year. So I'm here at the start of the 2025-26 season using live start points, and I'm rebuilding my biggest rivals, Brentford. And this is for the first time in channel history. If you couldn't tell by the big ass scarf above my head, I'm a Fulham fan. And like I said a few weeks ago when I rebuilt QPR, I want all of Fulham's rivals to be competitive. Now, it should come as no surprise that I am transfer listing all of the guys that have already left the club. I want to keep this somewhat realistic. I'm not tagging it as a realistic rebuild, but obviously I want to get the guys out of there that aren't going to be there next season and bring the guys in that have already signed. For example, at the end of last season, I signed Jordan Henderson. If I would have tried to sign him this year, we wouldn't have been able to because he often tries to retire. But I made sure I got Jordan Henderson at the back end of the 2024-25 season. And I'm also going to make sure I get some of the new signings into the club. Not some, all of the new signings into the club. Kelleher joining us from Liverpool. Anthony Malambo joins us from Feyenoord. And the Italian right back, Michael Coyote from Fiorentina. Now, I wanted to make sure that I got Romel Donovan in from Birmingham, but unfortunately, he's not in the game. Looks like he's going to be a decent prospect for Brentford, so hopefully get to use him at some stage next year, but yeah, not in the game this year. I do want Mikkel Damsgaard playing attacking midfield in this, so I'm going to convert him to an attacking midfielder. 2 weeks that's going to take. Want to see how many goals we can bag with him and how many assists. I want to make him a focal point of our attack at Brentford. Oh, again, just saying that feels so wrong to me. Same with Anthony Malambo. I don't want to have a formation with center midfielders. I'm moving to a formation with defensive midfielders, attacking midfielders. So let's get Malambo ready to fill in there down the line. Now, with the guys that I sell, I'm not going to be able to perfectly get them offers. For example, Mark Flecken's been sold. In real life, he went to Leverkusen. In this instance, he's gone to Augsburg. At least we were able to keep the Bundesliga angle nicely done. And the same deal here with Norgard. Went to Arsenal in real life. In this instance, well, we got the Carvalho loan deal as well, 2 years at Rayo Vallecano. But yeah, Norgard going to Turkey, going to Galatasaray. And Matthias Jensen, this one is on my own back. This is me putting my own move onto the squad. 8.8 mil for the Danish midfielder. And we're going to make our first independent signing as Brentford manager. Big defensive midfield addition to go alongside not Jordan Pickford, Jordan Henderson. It is the Argentine Santiago Eze, who we signed from Olympiacos. Yohan Wissa is out of the club. He is rumored with a move to Newcastle United, but this is probably the second best alternative, linking up with Thomas Frank at Tottenham. Screw it, lads. I'm leaning into the rivalry mindset. Let's go the full 9 yards. Let's build ourselves a team of absolute villains. In English football, my first love is Fulham. Brentford are one of our biggest rivals. In American soccer, I've moved here 3 years ago, fell in love with FC Cincinnati, the city I love in. Cucho Hernandez terrorized me in the Hell is Real derby as an FC Cincinnati fan my first few years living here. The former Columbus Crew striker tore it up in Spanish football this past year, and now he's coming to the Premier League. Cucho Hernandez still got his Columbus kit on, is signing for Brentford. Couple loan moves here though. Yarmouk going to Leicester. I'm pretty pumped about this though. I just accepted a loan move for Anthony Malambo. I was worried his conversion wasn't going to go through in time, so he becomes a 74 rated attacking midfielder now. Same deal with Damsgaard. Can he get up to 80? No, he doesn't. And on the very next day, God, that is cutting it fine. Malambo gets his loan move. The Dutchman heading to Club Brugge for the year. Now, I've sold Mbeumo, just like real life. Do not turn your nose up at me though, because there was no way from an FC career mode perspective I was going to get 60 million pounds or however much United paid for him. In fact, we haven't even got close to it. This is fair for a career mode price, 28 mil to send him to Tottenham. I had contracts fall down with Chelsea earlier because I counter offered 30 mil. So that's the range we were working in. They gave us an A for God's sakes. And immediately we are going to invest in our new starting right winger. Leicester getting relegated in real life. We're going to sign Abdul Fatawu to the club. It is absolutely an overall decrease, but this is a long-term prospect. Abdul Fatawu, we're going to get into the starting 11. He's not a scrub by any means either. 21 years of age, 79 overall. He's going to grow and catch up to Mbeumo's 82 rating, honestly, maybe by the end of the season. But we've paid 23 mil for him. Back to the loan moves though. Gustavo Nunes heading to Tejerez on loan. The South Korean defender Kim Ji-soo heading off on loan just like real life. And there was real internal debate on my behalf to start Coyote in the starting 11 here, but I've decided to loan the Italian out. Sending him back to the motherland, sending him to Lazio for the year. So there we go. That is a super active opening window in charge of Brentford. Still a lot of money in the back pocket. Like I'm saying 40 million pounds still at our disposal for January if we need it. There were players like Kevin Shade, who fortunately for him has gone up +1 overall already, but Lewis Potter, these sort of positions where I could definitely make some upgrades. But I want to see how the first 3-4 months of the season play out. I don't think we'll find ourselves in a relegation battle, but stranger things have absolutely happened. Okay, mid-table. Not a single draw this season, which is kind of impressive, I can't lie. 27 points. We're 14 points. Oh my god. So Coventry got promoted. Obviously, I can't control who gets promoted into the championship or from the championship when you use live start points. But the 3 teams in the relegation zone right now are stinking it. Our mentality has to be pushing up into some sort of European football. And to do that, I'm going to side with my original opinion. We need an upgrade on Lewis Potter. He's the weakest part of the starting 11 right now, not growing too insanely. So let's go for somebody big time for our standards that can hopefully help us make that push. Serginho Dest spent the past few years in Dutch football. Let's bring him to the Prem. I'm also going to go out and sign somebody that Brentford are linked with in real life. He could be a great signing for them, but it is Amir Richardson, signing from Fiorentina for £8.5 million. And I will send him off only on a short-term loan. It's going to be to Nottingham Forest, help them out with their relegation battle, and hopefully get some growth for Amir Richardson. We had 0 draws in the first half of the season, yet we had 7 in the second half of the season, and that has derailed any hopes we had of getting European football. 46 points, but still, Coventry on 25. We were 21 points clear of the relegation zone. Never really a threat. That being said, we conceded the 3rd most amount of goals in the league, 70 goals conceded. That is not good enough. We finished 14th, something definitely to build on. Arsenal have won the Premier League title. They finally break their 2nd place curse. No! Oh my god. We lost the FA Cup final. We could have been in the Europa League next season, but we have lost the FA Cup final to West Ham United. Oh, that is actually brutal, bro. We beat Arsenal in the semis, Port Vale in the quarters. That would have been huge if we won the FA Cup in our first year. Arsenal do win the Carabao Cup. West Ham truly had our number in the cups this year. Real Madrid win the Champions League. Ajax, no Jordan Henderson, but they still win the Europa League. And Wolfsburg win the Conference League. Cucho Hernandez, +3 overall, but bags himself 28 goals. And how about Kevin Shade? He was a man that I was debating upgrading in January, but he has earned his starting 11 spot. +3 growth, but more importantly, 25 goals, 4 assists, dynamic player potential, surely is about to rocket him. Abdul Fatawu, half decent year here. Jan Elton to the starting 11, getting a fair bit of game time and a decent impact as well. +3 growth for Heze, +1 growth. That's not as productive a year as I'd hoped for Mikkel Damsgaard. A lot of men off on loan though. Kim Ji-soo +2. Okay, that's going to make my life a lot easier next year. Michael Kyoto is about to replace Aaron Hickey, who had a half-decent year, but Kyoto is going to be our starting right back next season. Richardson +2 with Forest, +3 for Yarmaluk, +4 for Fabio Carvalho, his career back on track. And Malambo, we have got options at the attacking midfield role. +4 for Gustavo Nunez. This has been a good year, man. Our lads on loan getting the job done. However, Val Adedukan and Ashley Hay, I'm going to let their contracts expire. An up and down first season in charge of Brentford, but the foundations are there. Let's build in season 2 and hopefully make some sort of a push for some sort of European football. Season 2, a few players to sell, not niggly as many as last year, but players like Mads Roslav want out of the club. I'll grant it. Igor Thiago wanted a loan move, so I'm going to grant him that. And the next day, we're going to cash in on Rico Henry. Decent price for someone that's going to become a 3rd string left back. Jordan Henderson's overall expectedly has fallen off a cliff, so I want to go in for a new defensive midfielder that can match up with Santiago Heze. The temptation was there to put Amir Richardson in, and maybe if this was last year and he was this overall, I would have, but I want somebody that is around that 82, 83 marker. Most of our budget put into one player. And so, for me, Elliot Anderson is a super logical choice. Nottingham Forest got relegated. He is way too good to be sitting in the championship. We're bringing him back to the Prem. 23 years of age, 82 overall. This is a perfect pickup for Brentford. We've paid just over £30 million to secure his services. And with Igor Thiago going off on loan, we need to get ourselves a backup striker. Literally have no strikers in the club right now that aren't in the starting 11 besides Cucho. So I'm going for another relegated player. It is Lyle Foster, the Southampton African signing on. Amir Richardson heading on loan though to Bournemouth. Ellery Balcom heading permanently to Charlton. Malambo had a really decent year last year at Bruges, and there is a reality, once he gets back from this loan, he could honestly take over this starting attacking midfielder role. He's going to face some stiff competition, but that's something to watch. And now when it came to Aaron Hickey, I was in two minds whether I loaned him out or sold him. I've decided to loan him because I want to squeeze a little bit more out of him and see if we can get another 1 or 2 overall before we potentially sell him next year. Coyote's my number 1 man at the right back role, so Hickey's going to go to Sociedad. It's like a reverse Kieran Tierney loan. Not too many changes to the starting 11, just a lot around side of it. I'm very curious. I mean, like Coyote, I'm giving him the keys at right back. He needs to prove himself. I'm going to be very quick to look to make upgrades, especially at areas where they're lagging behind. Vandenberg, maybe we go for a centre back. Some positions I feel like are sorted here at Brentford, but others, players are going to be fighting for their roles long term. I just want Brentford fighting for some sort of European qualification. Last year, the draws were not even on my radar. 0 draws this time last year, but now we've got 7 of them. 6 wins, 7 draws, 6 losses. We're set in 25th right now. We need to get ourselves up that table. Actually in a closer position. We're 10 points away from the relegation zone. We're closer to relegation this year than last. I'm going to make a big shake up here. We need to do something. Nathan Collins has not been growing. He's rumored with a move away potentially in real life. And I'm going to make that happen here in game. The Irishman heading north to Manchester United. Big time upgrade. It's only going to be one signing here in January because we have spent a majority of our budget on a huge addition to the back line. 83 rated, 26 years of age. It is the Croatian defender Josip Sutalo signing from Ajax. Let's see if he can be the difference maker and get us up this Premier League table. No more mid-table obscurity. Come on! That was the right idea. Sutalo makes a difference here. 6th place we have climbed up to comfortably as well compared to where we were. What, like 1-2 losses the whole second half of the season, about 6 draws, 7 draws, but we are in 6th position, getting ourselves some sort of European football, either Europa League or Conference League. I think it'll depend on the other competitions. 6th place though is beautiful. Man City back to winning the Prem. Who got relegated this year? Fulham, Leicester, and Bournemouth. In the quest of rebuilding Fulham's biggest rival, Fulham got relegated. Oh dear. Arsenal win the FA Cup. We went out to Preston North End in the 4th round. Liverpool win the Carabao Cup. 3rd round exit on penalties for us. We put all of our attention into the Prem. Bayern Munich win an all-German Champions League final. Lyon win the Europa League. So far, as long as there's not an English team that... Yep, perfect. Panathinaikos. I think that means we're playing Europa League next year. Sharing the wealth between our front 3. For Tawu, only +1 growth, but he does get himself 25 goal contributions, which is very, very nice. Kucho hits 85, 19 and 9. Meanwhile, Kevin Shade, I wanted a little more growth out of him. 16 and 1. Hopefully, we haven't knocked the shine off of him. No growth, though, for Serginho Dest. That is concerning. Only +1 growth for Damsgaard. I might have to consider getting an upgrade at attacking mid next year. I don't think. I mean, Carvalho goes up to a 79. Milambo, it's another half decent year. I'll honestly probably look to send Milambo on loan again next year because I don't really see that. I want a superstar. If I'm going to go for upgrades, I'm going for guys that are like 83, 84 at this point. No growth for Igor Thiago at Villarreal. I probably would just have him come back and sit as a reserve. No growth either for Aaron Hickey. +2 for Quixote. Not ideal, but he's still tracking decently. Thank God we upgraded at CDM. Jordan Henderson down to a 69. Richardson +2 growth there to 80. Decent. Gonna have a decent bench next year, but Ethan Pinnock will not be a part of it. The Jamaican is retiring. So this is going to be one of those transfer windows where there is a lot of moving parts in terms of there's a lot we could do and a lot we probably won't do because I have so many questions where certain players in the squad in 6 months could be superstars or they could be duds. I'm going to make one signing. I'm going to have a few player sales, but one signing here in the summer, and that is going to be at defense. That's going to be at centre half. Levi Colwill will be joining us at Brentford. He's jumping across the divide of West London lines. Levi Colwill leaving Chelsea, staying in West London and joining us here at Brentford. But I will be selling players. I want to make sure that when we sell players in January, when we figure out what we want to do, we have an absolute war chest to attack the best players in the world. First, starting with right back, Ayer's going to Spain for 4.5 mil. Aaron Hickey also leaving the club, heading to Chelsea, kind of switching places there with Levi Colwill. But this is the big one. Damsgaard, I'm selling him. Star in real life, hasn't performed in this simulation. £30 million to Celta Vigo, but I will not be replacing him right now. And that is because in the offseason, when he came back from his loan spell, Fabio Carvalho actually gained 2 overall, got himself to an 81. I'm not saying he's the guy guaranteed, but I think it's worth giving him a shot for at least the first half of the season. Used to be one of my favorite players when he was at Fulham. I lost a lot of love for him when he left Liverpool and joined Brentford, but I'm willing to help him earn a little bit of my love back. I don't want Malambo's whole career being just loan after loan after loan, but it's starting to look like that, sending him down south to Brighton. So we've got about £70 million, which is really nice. £70 million to do what we please come January 1st. And yeah, like I said, there's a reality where I go for a new left winger, a new attacking midfielder, a new left back, although Dest has grown, a new goalkeeper, a new right back. There could be absolute chaos come January. I also might just go for one player if everybody starts to grow. So hang in there, fellas, and we'll see what life is looking like come January 1. A Europa League run would be absolutely brilliant, though. I'm curious to see how we perform. My goal is to make sure we're getting Champions League next season. So if we do that via the Prem, via the Europa League, just via anything, I'll be happy. Okay, this is where we ended last year, and it's where we find ourselves halfway through this year. 6th in the Premier League right now, 32 points, 3 points out of the top 4. But after that, it's a little bit of, if we're going to catch Liverpool, City, or Arsenal, there is a lot of work to do. And honestly, we could slide down the table. Nowhere near the relegation zone, but easily could slide to like 13th or 12th. And really in a precarious position with the Europa League as well. 2 games to go, and we sit 17th there. Carvalho's having a pretty good start to the year so far. Shade up to an 82. Kelleher up to an 83. Only 7 clean sheets though. Dest up to an 83. Coyote though, he hasn't grown at all. He has not grown at all. Honestly, I think I'm going to go in for a new right back. You know what? Let's just go in for a star right back. Somebody like Rico Lewis that we know we will likely never have to get out of the squad again. He's off in the Bundesliga. Not enjoying it, wants to come home. Let's bring him back to the English Premier League. Rico Lewis trading the red and white of Frankfurt for the red and white of Brentford. And I'm going to head down to the Championship to get ourselves a backup right winger, just in case anything happens to Fatawu. I'm going to go for somebody that is ready to play in the Prem right now, but is also going to get better as time goes on. It is the Czech winger Mataj Jurasek joining us from Norwich. Trading the Canaries for the Bees. Oh, 2 points short, man. We finished 5th. It looks like we are destined for Europa League football again here. 19 wins, 10 draws, 9 losses. That Champions League egg is a hard one to crack. Man City, top of the table once again. Disappointing to finish 5th, but it is European football. It is good experience. Burnley, Luton, Hull go down. Sheffield United have won the FA Cup. They are in the Championship, and they're going to be in the Europa League next year. Dude, look at that semi-final. Look at that quarterfinal. Man United were the last good team. Where the hell did we go out? The big teams. We went out to Man United on penalties in the 4th round. That feels like a missed opportunity. Same thing in the Carabao Cup, a South Coast derby, which Southampton win. West Brom Spurs in the semis. We go out to Bournemouth in the quarters. This year is so close, yet so far. I mean, if we want to play Champions League next year, we have to win the Europa League, so I'm hoping it's not the same case there. Another Champions League title for Bayern Munich. We ended up winning our last 2 Europa League games, so we ended up finishing in the auto spots in league phase play, which is a welcome surprise. Get to skip the playoffs into the round of 16, and we go out to Copenhagen. Round of 16 exit to Copenhagen in the Europa League. So we will not be playing Champions League next year. It is going to be another Europa League journey. Copenhagen made it to the final, but they ended up losing to Feyenoord. Whilst Hoffenheim have won the Conference League. Cucho Hernandez, a career best year for the Colombian. 28 goals, 87 overall. Beautiful stuff. Shade, bro, he keeps putting up decent numbers. He's just not growing that much. Fatawu, on the other hand, is putting up similar numbers to Shade, but is getting himself up to an 85. Carvalho, only +1 growth. Honestly, man, I'm so conflicted what I do next season with some of these guys like Carvalho and Shade. They're doing okay, but their overalls just aren't insane. Jordan Henderson, I'm surprised that we got 3 seasons out of him, but it is time that he is calling it a day. Jordan Henderson will be retiring. Season 4 needs to be the year, though, that we get over the hump and get ourselves into Champions League football. I'm not sure what we've done to get this type of money, but we have got ourselves £140 million in the budget. Normally, I've got to check the objectives. Where are we? Where are we? Are we in the Champions League? No, we're in the Europa League again. I was like, don't tell me we somehow got ourselves an extra qualification spot in England. But no, we're in the Europa League again. I'm surprised we're getting that type of money. Not complaining though, just surprised. But that truly was the mentality shift to be like, all right, line in the sand. Let's make ourselves a team of superstars. No more projects, superstars only. Get Brentford into the Champions League. And so we've decided to sign Malik Tillman, the American attacking midfielder. Left PSV to join Bayer Leverkusen in real life this window. The squads haven't updated thanks to EA though, so Tillman still at PSV. We signed him for £70 million. His big move comes, 4 years later. Fabio Carvalho, I am cashing in on though. Could not say no to £40 million from Newcastle. And I'm also going to move on Paris Magoma, trying to lift up the bottom rated players of the squad. We rescued Rico Lewis from Germany, and I'm doing the same for Jamie Bino Gittins. The Englishman coming back to the motherland, £55 million from Dortmund. I wasn't lying when I said we're going hard in the paint this year, lads. I'm almost disappointed that we aren't in the Champions League this year, for obvious reasons, but the main one being that I think we genuinely could have a crack with this team. This team is good. The baseline is players hitting 85. We're just about there for the whole squad. Big first half of the season for players like Kelleher. Not so much Colwill, but Serginho Dest. Those are probably the two players on notice right now for getting potentially upgraded. I have kept Shade and Malambo and Richardson this year though. I want to make sure we have as much firepower as possible to help us get over the line finally. And to be honest, we have to do way better in the Europa League than a round of 16 exit. What is our obsession with 6th place? We are 6th place again here. 4 points out of the top 4. 6th place with Brentford on the 1st of January. 8 points off the league title and 8 points off mid-table obscurity. Let's go up this year, please. And unfortunately, I've had to make the tough call, fellas. Kelleher has been solid for us, but he's lagging behind the rest of the squad. We need to invest heavily in a world-class goalkeeper, one of the best in the world, cashing in on Kelleher as he heads to Crystal Palace. And that is exactly what we're going to get in the Italian. Sorry, I rewatched Inglourious Bastards last night for like the 700,000th time, but we're going to pick up a new goalkeeper, the Italian goalkeeper, Marco Carnesecchi. 88 rated, 28 years of age, 50 mil. Bloody beautiful. Maybe doing a rebuild with Brentford was a mistake. Maybe this is the FC gods punishing me for taking over Brentford and wanting to make my life as difficult as possible. We're 7th. 7th in the Premier League here. 4 points short of the Champions League. I'm going clinically insane. Fulham and Chelsea, at least we're the biggest club in West London now. Fulham and Chelsea right on our throats, on our backs. Man United almost get relegated, but it will be Southampton, Ipswich, and Forest. Liverpool win the FA Cup, and Leicester, they win the Carabao. Champions League goes to PSG. The Europa League is our only hope. The Europa League is the only hope we have from not crashing out. I can't lie. We finished 4th, 1 loss. It's a good start. Skip the playoffs. Round of 16, we demolished Basel. That is nice. That's why we got absolutely pumped last year. So at least we got over that hurdle. Quarterfinals, we beat Ajax 4-2. We are on a run. Please, fellas. Semifinals, we beat Roma. We're going to be versing Lille. Please, 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 Brentford. Beat Lille. Good. Good, good, good. We have won the Europa League. I'm honestly more relieved than anything. We have won the Europa League with Brentford. We're into the Champions League next year, and we are counting our blessings. Marseille, they won the Conference League, so we really stopped French football from winning every single European trophy. Cucho continues to deliver. Gittins, great first year for him, 24 goals. Our whole front three, absolutely delivering. Tillman up to an 87. Anderson, our captain, up to an 89. All right, mate, I see you. Feeling fortunate to be into the Champions League, but that is where we are. Season 5, bring it on. We're in the Champions League. We have an unbelievable squad, and I want to give us the best chance possible of making this a one and done in the Champions League. I want us pushing for a Champions League title here in Season 5. And the one area that stands up where we need an upgrade is in the defense. Lukabe is going to be our new centre-back alongside Sutalo. I don't want to get rid of too many players this season, though. We're at the point now with the squad squad where I want to keep onto these higher rated players to use in the reserves. We don't necessarily need the money that much. So everything going accordingly, Frank Onyeka will be the only man leaving this window. However, that will not be the end of our window. Aaron Ramsdale will be joining us. We needed a backup goalkeeper. I think Ramsdale's the perfect backup. We've seen how he supported players when he was on the bench at Arsenal, but Aaron Ramsdale will be joining us from Southampton. We've got something special here at Brentford. It pains me to see what I've done to Brentford Football Club, and it pains me that I've put them in a position now to have already won a Europa League and potentially be in the mix for a Champions League here in the next couple of years, if not this year. Colwill goes up to an 85, though. That could cause some problems between him and Sutalo. I didn't realize that Shade went up to an 84 on the bench as well. This team is in a really good spot. Let's see if that translates to Champions League performances, though. Oh, gets off to a tough start in September. We have got Juventus. Going to Italy again versus AC Milan. Then to Marseille, the south of France. A little bit of a reprieve in November, heading to Hungary. Then we host Villarreal, host Sporting, host Atletico Madrid, and host Feyenoord. There are no guarantees with this draw. This is tough, man. Also, I would like to point out that we unfortunately lost the UEFA Super Cup on penalties, though. That's the key thing. We lost on penalties. We can go toe-to-toe with PSG. That gives me actually a lot of confidence. I mean, we're into the playoffs, but we have finished 23rd with Brentford. 2 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. We are in by the skin of our teeth. This will be a good test, though, because we have Villarreal in the playoff round. And we are not doing great here in the Premier League either. Currently 8th. Granted, we're 8 points out of the top 4. We could move up very, very quickly, but I wanted us pushing for a Premier League title this year. It looks like Arsenal have already got it wrapped up. So we're starting off first leg at Legoland at the Brentford Stadium. Rainy night in West London. Villarreal traveling here. Come on, come on. 1-1 draw. We come from behind. They've got Kai Havertz and Tell playing for them. And now we're going to have to go to Spain and try avoiding playoff elimination. The rain follows us wherever we go. We're in Spain, and it's a rainy night here. Elliot Anderson is 91 overall. That is actually insane. Villarreal, 3-1. It goes to extra time. We are going to have Gittins and Cucho as our heroes, and we're heading to the round of 16. And, well, yep, we're in the cauldron now. We got to go to Spain last round. Now we go again. This time, though, it's to Catalonia. It's to versus Barcelona. All right, get right into it. I would love if we could take a lead back to Barcelona. We're at home here, West London. Raining again. Jesus Christ, mate. Raining again, and it's a 2-2 draw. Very even there. Dest equalizes against his former club. Oh my God, there must be a bug or something. Every single game is raining right now. We are following, the rain is following us wherever we go. It comes to Spain. Use this to our advantage. Come on, lads. Come on, lads. Come on, lads. Fatawu. That was a weird-ass voice that I made, but Fatawu gets an early goal. We hang on to it. And now I've got way more confidence. We're into the quarterfinals after taking down Barcelona. Oh my God. We're just going to take out all of Spain, aren't we? We've got Real Madrid now. Both sides of El Clasico from the round of 16 to the quarterfinals. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay, we travel to the Bernabeu for the first leg. It is not raining. That's either going to be a good thing or a bad. I'm hoping it's a good thing. I'm hoping it means we're going to get a win in the first leg rather than a draw. We do! Manifest it. Manifest your own destiny, fellas. Gittins in the 86th minute. Bro, he's been clutch for us in these knockout rounds so far. Oh, Cucho's been suspended. I did not notice him getting a yellow card. The pressure is on. 1-0 up. Igor Thiago in. Just draw. Just draw. Get a draw. Get us to the semis. We get a win instead. Oh my God. We have got a lot of yellow cards, but we have got back-to-back victories over Real Madrid. And we might be stinking it up in the Prem, but we are getting it done in the Champions League. Okay, semi-finals, and we have got ourselves a date with Leipzig. Curious to see what their team is looking like. Okay, they've got a good team. They've got Anthony Robinson's in there. Milinkovic-Savic, who's probably like 35 at this point. Xavi Simons, Arda Güler, Kubasi. Yeah, they've definitely got somebody that plays career mode at the helm. First leg on the road, though. That worked out for us nicely against Madrid, and I'm hoping it works nicely again. Anderson's up to a 92 now. That is actually cooked. We get another 1-0 win. No injuries, no suspensions. Igor Thiago is not going to have to come in again. We take a lead I'm not going to say 1 foot, like 1 toe into a Champions League final. All right. Same deal as what we had against Real Madrid. Just don't bottle it. Get a draw. Get yourself to a Champions League final and come out unscathed. That's the biggest thing. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, okay. So we're heading to the final. It was tough, but Sutalo got red carded, which means he is going to be out for the Champions League final. Levi Colwell's going to come in. We are heading to a Champions League final. We take down Leipzig, but we're not there with our full-strength squad. And so in the final, we're going to have PSG. This has not been an easy run to the final. We are here, though. We're going to have to take down, I was going to say Mbappe and co, but my head's still stuck last year. Look around the grounds. Wolfsburg have won the Europa League. A French team losing there. Oh, I was hoping a French team lost in the Conference League as well, but it is Real Sociedad winning that. Oh, okay, so yeah, we weren't even close to Champions League football. All right, this is a lot of pressure. We finish 7th. If we don't win today, then that's going to push our rebuild back by 2 seasons. I'm going to go full sweat mode for this. Liverpool, Chelsea, 10th and 11th. North London rivalry, but Arsenal still win the Prem. And the relegated sides are going to be West Ham, Coventry, and Norwich. We do add an FA Cup to our trophy cabinet, though. We won the FA Cup 2-0 over Manchester City. Beat Villa in the semis. Bristol in the quarterfinals. Arsenal, we had a tough run there as well. My God. But Man City did get some trophies. They won the Carabao Cup. 28 goals for Gittins, 27 for Cucho. This front three, Fatawu, 13 assists. He's just putting it on platters for them. This front three is crazy. Also, Elliot Anderson, 9 goals from CDM is bloody brilliant. This team is awesome, man. This team is actually awesome. It's a shame that I've put such a good team together for Brentford. But I'm going to get myself a Red Bull. Not sponsored by them. I just need to lock in. I would love to be sponsored by them, though. If anyone from Red Bull's watching, help us out. But we're going to lock in. This is a high-stakes Champions League final. We could win it in either Season 5 or Season 7 at the earliest. I see you pointing, Tillman. That's actually a great ball from Dest. American. Tillman, need a good ball, though, to the back post. Gets it squared. Go on. Gittins. Half volley. Misses it. That would have been a real nice opener. Isak, no long shots. Got to put pressure on him. He goes for one there. Kana Seshi looked like he had no idea what was going on. Look at the space. PSG playing a press, and it's used to our advantage. We're going to go here to Dest. Got him on overlapping play. Dest. They slide in there. That's got to be a card. Red card. Oh, I didn't know if it was going to be a red card. I didn't know if it was the last man. Maybe it's because it studs up. But Hakimi has been sent off in the 35th minute. They're bringing on Kanate, taking off Isak. Oh my God. I'm going to try getting the free kick here. I just want to drill this one. Absolutely drill it with Cucho. Let's see how this one plans out. I'm not very good at free kicks. I'm putting all the power, though. And Cucho has scored an absolute banger. I held L1, R1, and put all the power in the world. That is one of the best goals we have scored this year. Cucho gives us the lead, and I want to run rampant. Look at this, bro. He had the 90-shot power, and that needed to work to our advantage. Curls the wall. Keeper's got to do a bit better, though. Got absolutely destroyed by the pace of that free kick. Bends it around Kanate. That is absolute cinema. We cannot allow PSG to get anything here, bro. No shots like that. Come on. Nicely tapped. Going out here to Fatawu. I see you, Cucho. I'm going to R1 that. That's brilliantly done. We go back to the center circle. And Gittins rounds off a beautifully worked team goal. 2-0 up against PSG. I want us running rampant. No. Good save, Karnaseshi. Go on. That was good. Tillman sliding it out here beautifully to Gittins. I see Cucho. Can we make it 3? Can we put this to bed? Yes, we do. 3-0 domination against PSG. Cucho has a brace. Beautiful. An absolute clinic. To be fair, it was a close game until Hakimi got himself sent off. But from there on, we absolutely dominated and get a convincing win over. That looked like Anthony Robinson. I know it was Malambo, but it looked like Anthony Robinson there for a second. I almost had a heart attack. It pains me, but I've successfully rebuilt Brentford. I never thought I would see this site, but I've just successfully rebuilt Brentford. Elliot Anderson, what a journey it has been. I don't have any good feelings about this. This is just a mercenary doing what he has to be done. Like doing the dishes, doing your laundry, or taking out the trash. This just had to be done. But lads, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you click here to subscribe, leave a like, and click here to watch me rebuild Blackpool in the rebuild of the year.